Look, your parents love you. There is absolutely no doubt about that. But their financial advice? Honestly, it's very likely keeping you broke in 2026. Welcome, everyone. We have officially shifted out of that old industrial age mindset. You know, the one where predictability ruled everything. And we've stepped right into this hyper-fast, AI-driven digital economy. The crazy thing is, the so-called safe paths of the past, the exact ones our parents and grandparents completely swore by, are actually now the riskiest traps you can fall into. So today we're going to break down the specific, outdated advice that you need to unlearn right now if you want to actually build wealth in the modern economy.
It's kind of tough to think about, isn't it? Is the advice from the people who care about you the most actually the thing holding you back? Well, think about it like this. Our parents grew up in an era where you could honestly just work at the exact same factory or corporate office for 40 years and retire with a gold watch and a full, cushy pension. Today, the average modern worker might go through 3 huge company buyouts or major restructurings in just 5 years. They gave us the blueprint that worked flawlessly for their generation, but we are playing a completely different game today. To actually build wealth now, we've got to completely wipe the slate clean and understand how the modern economy actually operates.
Now, if you are ready to stop falling into these old generational traps, and you want this modern blueprint for success delivered straight to you, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications right now. It really helps the channel grow, and it guarantees you won't miss out on any of our deep dives into how money actually works today. All right, let's get right into the very first major trap.
Okay, let's dive into this. Myth number 1, the safe job. We've all heard this old school rule since we were kids, right? Get a stable job, climb the corporate ladder, and just keep your head down. Be loyal, and the company will take care of you until you retire. Sounds nice, but in 2026, job security is a total illusion. The economy just moves way too fast for that old strategy to hold up anymore. Entire industries literally shift overnight thanks to massive technological advancements. Companies are incredibly agile now. And widespread corporate restructuring? That's just a normal Tuesday, not some rare once-in-a-decade event.
And the contrast here brilliantly illustrates exactly what we're up against. That old-school strategy relied heavily on a super slow, predictable climb up one single ladder. You put your time in, you moved up a rung. Simple. But in our hyper-fast economy, tying 100% of your income to one single employer means that if they decide to restructure, downsize, or completely pivot their business model, your entire livelihood just vanishes in an instant. Relying on a single paycheck from a single source is definitely no longer the safe route. Actually, it's the absolute riskiest bet you can make with your future.
Moving right along to myth number 2, the idea that debt is evil.
So many of our parents were taught that absolutely all debt is universally bad, right? So they taught us to pay cash for everything and just avoid owing anyone a dime. But when we look at how the modern wealthy actually operate, it's a totally different story. You absolutely have to understand the difference between bad debt and good debt. Bad debt is slapping a massive new TV on a credit card with a 25% APR. That literally just drains your wealth. Good debt, on the other hand, is taking out a low-interest loan to acquire a digital asset, maybe buy real estate, or fund a business that pays you a monthly return way higher than your loan payment. The wealthy actively use good debt as leverage to scale. By avoiding all debt entirely, past generations basically missed out on the exact tool used to skyrocket net worth.
Hey, we are just getting started here, but if this perspective shift is already helping you rethink your financial foundation, smash that like button right now. It genuinely helps out the algorithm, which means more people can find this explainer and break out of their own generational wealth traps. Let's keep this momentum going.
Which brings us to myth number 3. I call this one the savings trap.
Now, what's really interesting to see visualized here is the math behind this deeply ingrained idea that you should aggressively save every single penny you earn and just keep it sitting safely in a bank account. In an era of high inflation, cash is not a safe haven at all. It is literally a melting ice cube. Let's just break down the math real quick. If your bank account pays you 1% interest, but inflation is rising at 5%, you are silently losing 4% of your purchasing power every single year. Your money is literally shrinking in value while it just sits there doing nothing. To survive and thrive today, your money needs to work exactly as hard as you do, constantly growing and compounding.
I really want to hear from you on this one. I'm genuinely curious, so speak directly to me in the comments down below. What's the biggest piece of old financial advice you've personally had to unlearn on your own journey? Was it the pressure about buying a house, going into massive student loan debt for just a generic degree, or maybe just hoarding cash? Drop a comment below, and I'll be diving in and replying to the best ones. And of course, don't forget to subscribe if you're getting value from this explainer so far.
Let's move to and see how this builds into our next concept, building your own path.
Now, just to be super clear, the goal here isn't to disrespect our parents or the generations before us. They did the absolute best they could with the information and the economy that they had, but we have to adapt to our reality. We have incredible modern advantages today. I'm talking about tools that past generations literally never even dreamed of. From our smartphones, we can tap into global markets instantly. You can build a digital storefront or sell a service to someone across the globe while sitting in your pajamas in your living room, completely untethering your income from your local zip code. We can create highly scalable income sources that aren't chained to an hourly wage anymore.
So the crucial point is this. It brings us to the core of everything we're talking about today, what we call the broke to rich formula. And listen, this isn't some secret magic trick. It's a fundamental requirement for 2026. To truly break the wealth trap, you absolutely must shift from passive saving to actively owning assets. What does being an asset owner actually mean today? Well, it means owning things that put money into your pocket, dividend-paying stocks, digital real estate, an e-commerce brand, or intellectual property like software and content. That shift, from trading your time for a single paycheck to actually owning assets that generate value around the clock, is the only reliable vehicle to outpace inflation and build real generational wealth.
We're about to hit the final, most actionable steps to tie this whole thing together. So if you're still watching and getting value out of this, go ahead and hit that like button one last time. It tells the algorithm to push this explainer to someone else out there who desperately needs to hear this truth today.
All right, here is your final summary. These are the actionable steps you need to implement immediately. Step 1, challenge the status quo. Stop accepting old financial rules just because that's how it's always been done. Step 2, audit your financial habits. Look really closely at where your money is sitting, look at how you view debt, and actively adjust your mindset for 2026. And step 3, actually pay super close attention to this one. Stop taking advice from people who haven't achieved the specific goals you are aiming for.
I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Will you take the time to actually audit your finances today, or will you just let another entire year pass following a blueprint designed for a world that literally no longer exists? Seriously, don't wait until tomorrow. Look at your bank accounts, your investments, and your career path through the lens of everything we just talked about. To help you out, I've linked a comprehensive guide to modern wealth building in the description below so you can get started right now. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss our next deep dive, and I'll see you all in the next explainer.